So Arvind, tell me, what does HD Medical do and what is its current product?
Sure. HD Medical has developed the world's first intelligent stethoscope with integrated ECG leads. It's called as HD Steth, which is an FDA cleared product, and that enables real-time ECG without connecting any wires or gel and so on. And it also enables you to listen to the heart sounds and lung sounds much better by removing all the ambient noise and sufficiently amplifying the sound, which is comfortable for a doctor.
So I have the HD Steth in my hands, so I'm really excited to learn more about it. Can you tell us a little more details?
Sure. So HD Steth is the world's first intelligent stethoscope with integrated ECG leads. So without connecting any wires or gel, you can get ECG in real time. So these three golden dots are the ECG electrodes that are integrated into the stethoscope. And by the way, we made it look exactly like a regular stethoscope because we found that doctors like to identify themselves as doctors by putting the stethoscope around their necks. So we wanted it to look very much like a stethoscope. But in addition to the ability of listening to the sounds better, you can also get the ECG in real time without connecting any wires or gel.
Wow.
And all you need to do is just put it on the patient's chest and then hear the sounds, heart sounds, lung sounds, any other sounds which you normally hear through a stethoscope. But in addition to that, we have much more. You can see the ECG waveforms in real time, and this device pairs through Bluetooth BLE to any Android tab or a phone or even an Apple, and then also to your laptops and computers. So you can in real time see the waveforms of the heart sounds, the ECG, as well as any high frequency and possibly abnormal conditions and things like that. You can actually see it in real time. So our philosophy is that you can not only hear the sound, but you can hear the sounds much better. But more importantly, you can now see what you hear, and also you can see what you don't hear. Because some of these sounds are extremely low frequency components, and it's sometimes hard to just hear it. Whereas now, seeing is believing.
Wow, that really gives some real-time diagnostic information for any doctor to be able to look at, an Android a tablet or something and see the real-time ECGs. Now that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. It makes it very easy even for a non-specialist to use this device with very minimal training. They can use it almost like a regular stethoscope, but now with these digital tools, they can actually visualize it, and then they can do a more objective diagnosis or a screening or a triage, and that saves time as well as cost, and most importantly, can save the lives of people.
And the doctor's times as well, because they don't have to be out in the field screening them if other people can, screen them for them, and they can look at the data and analyze that sense of data to determine what the next steps are for the patient. So how do you train, non-workers? How do they utilize the stethoscope?
As I said, it's very much like using a regular stethoscope, which they already trained where are all the locations to auscultate from and so on. So that's the same. But there are hardly like 4 or 5 buttons, which within a matter of 5 minutes, you can actually train them on how to use the device. That's very simple. Okay. But once you have a tablet or a phone, you can pair it instantaneously within a few seconds. And then you can just see the waveforms, and then you can record them, you can analyze them, you can do a lot of different functionalities with that.
And I noticed that you had an increase in volume or a decrease in volume so that
Correct.
Person can...
We support up to 30 times digital amplification.
Okay.
And it's just enough to match what the doctors are used to with their conventional stethoscopes. We also don't want to overdo it, right? So that is very, very important. And we actually welcome and invite doctors to really experience what we call as the HD sound.
That's amazing. I know that, some people, they may be hearing impaired. So having that flexibility to be able to increase or decrease the volume on a stethoscope would provide them that real-time HD sound that you are talking about.
Correct. We also found that a lot of experienced doctors and cardiologists have some sort of hearing loss as they age, and That's where these technologies and devices can really help substitute for those hearing loss aspects. And we fundamentally believe that, whenever a youngster has like the best gadgets for listening to music or playing games, why not we empower medical professionals with the best technologies and devices to not only listen better, but also to visualize and diagnose better? Because after all, their job is about life and death, and we want to help them saving more lives.
So Arvind, why don't you tell us a little bit about what impact HD Steth has created so far?
Sure. So out of the 50,000 or more children we have screened so far, we have actually taken some of the children who have been confirmed with a murmur and taken them to an ultrasound echocardiogram to have a final validation and confirmation, and out of which more than 35 children have actually received a free heart surgery, and their lives have been saved. So for us, this is really a great impact because it's all about saving lives. And imagine what is the price tag to put on a child's life. It's truly priceless, right? So that's where HD's mission is really for saving these lives, whether it's children or even adults who are having these cardiac defects. Screening early or having a more accurate triage at the point of care, that's what can really make a huge impact.
So Arvind, I could totally relate to what you were talking about, because I had these memorable experiences of when we were completing the screenings and we were verifying it with an echocardiogram. There was a child that came in, and there was a mother when we were utilizing the HD Steth, and we were able to determine the cardiac defects that the child had. But this mother, she came in and she looked at me and she asked me, "Is my child going to be okay?" And it was just truly, I didn't know what to say to her. I was feeling her pain. She was a mother who had lost a previous child due to congenital heart disease. And my heart just went out to her because I felt her pain, that fear that she was going through, and not knowing, what the future of her child was going to be. In fact, her child was only 9 years old. And I was blown away by how technology, by doing this early detection and the screening, how we were able to save that child's life and give hope to that child and to that mother,
Yes.
who would have a future with this child since she lost her previous one.
Correct. And that's very important. I mean, detecting them at an early stage is really the key. And in fact, we are doing another screening program for newborns and neonatals in another leading state in southern India, where we have actually now screened more than 10,000 newborns. So at the birth, within 48 hours from the birth, if they can be screened, normally the protocol is to just use pulse oximetry for determining whether the baby at birth has a congenital heart defect or not. But a lot of their early results and studies are proving that in addition to the pulse oximetry, if we can add these additional parameters for murmur detection, ECG-based rhythm detection, and other analysis, that can almost double the accuracy of detecting these congenital heart defects at birth. So we'll be sharing those results very soon, but we believe that can make a significant impact of identifying at the birth itself, and thereby having a better chance for early intervention and really saving the lives.
And survival of the child, because if they don't get that attention or those surgical impact, then it is a chance that that child would die before its first birthday if it's not detected early enough.
Correct.
So
in fact,
I think
most
it's
cases
remarkable.
you have to detect them and intervene within the first 6 months or so, otherwise they end up dying. So that's a problem we're trying to solve.